Emma Thompson stood at the gate with her boarding pass. She was so happy. This was her first trip alone to see her grandmother in Liverpool. Her father had given her a first-class ticket as a gift. Emma had worked very hard all year. She got top marks in school, led the debate team, and helped at the community center every weekend. The gate agent looked up at Emma with a frown. "Excuse me, miss, there must be some mistake," she said. "This is the first-class boarding line." Emma checked her boarding pass again. "No mistake. I have a first-class ticket," she said politely. The agent looked at Emma more closely now. Her eyes moved from Emma's casual jeans to her natural hair wrapped in a colorful scarf. The agent's smile was not friendly. "I'm going to need to see some ID," she said. Emma handed over her ID card. Her heart beat faster as the agent studied it for a long time. People in line were starting to look at her. Emma felt her face grow hot. "I'm sorry, but I can't let you board in first class," the agent finally said. "There appears to be a problem with your ticket." "What problem?" Emma asked. Her voice was quiet, but she could feel her hands shake a little. "Perhaps you misunderstood your reservation," the agent suggested. "We can put you in economy class if you'd like." Emma heard whispers from the other passengers waiting nearby. She wanted to argue and tell the agent she was wrong. She wanted to demand respect. But she remembered what her father always told her: choose your battles wisely, and always carry yourself with dignity. So Emma nodded and took the new economy boarding pass. She walked away with her head high, but inside she felt small and hurt. On the plane, Emma found her seat. It was in the middle row, squashed between two other passengers. The seat was narrow and had very little legroom. It was nothing like the spacious first-class seat she had seen when walking through that section. As the plane prepared for takeoff, Emma took out her phone. Her hands were still shaking slightly as she called her father. "Dad?" Something happened at the gate. Her voice broke a little as she told him about what had just happened. She tried to sound brave, but it was hard to hide how upset she felt. William Thompson sat in his office in London. As he listened to his daughter's story, his face grew dark with anger. The view of the city from his window seemed to fade as he focused on Emma's words. "Are you okay?" he asked first. William always put his daughter's feelings before anything else. "I'm fine," Emma said, but he could tell she was not telling the truth. "Just embarrassed." "Don't worry about a thing," William said. His voice was gentle when he spoke to her, but there was a hardness underneath. "Enjoy your flight, and I'll see you in Liverpool." What Emma didn't know was a big secret. Her father wasn't just any businessman with an office job. William Thompson was the founder and CEO of Horizon Airways, the very airline she was flying on right now. William ended the call and immediately picked up his office phone. He dialed a number and waited just one ring before someone answered. "James, I need the company jet ready in 30 minutes, he said firmly. "And get me Olivia Bennett from customer experience. We have a serious situation to address." As Emma sat in her cramped seat, looking out the small window at the clouds, she had no idea what was about to happen. She didn't know that her father was already in the air, flying to meet her. She didn't know that the gate agent's actions would soon lead to big changes at the airline. She just knew that she had been judged by how she looked, not who she was. And it hurt deeply. The flight to Liverpool seemed to last forever for Emma. She tried to read her book, but couldn't focus. The memory of the gate agent's face kept coming back to her. Had others noticed what happened? Did they think she had tried to sneak into first class? When the plane finally landed, Emma felt relief. She waited for her turn to stand up and get her bag from the overhead bin. As passengers slowly moved toward the exit, a flight attendant came down the aisle. "Miss Thompson," the woman asked, looking directly at Emma. Emma nodded, surprised that the attendant knew her name. "Would you please come with me? There's someone waiting to meet you." Emma felt confused. Had her grandmother somehow gotten a pass to meet her at the gate? That seemed unlikely. Maybe her father had called ahead to arrange something? Okay, Emma said, grabbing her backpack. The flight attendant led her past the other passengers. Emma noticed some curious looks as she was taken to the front of the line. When they reached the exit door, the attendant gestured for Emma to go first. "Thank you for flying with Horizon Airways," she said with a warm smile that seemed very different from the gate agent's cold one in London. Emma stepped into the jet bridge and followed it to the terminal. As she entered the airport, she stopped in surprise. There, waiting by the gate, stood her father. Next to him was a woman in a sharp Horizon Airways uniform with a director's badge. "Dad?" Emma said in shock. "What are you doing here? How did you get here so fast?" William Thompson stepped forward and hugged his daughter tightly. "Are you all right?" he asked, looking at her face carefully. "I'm fine," Emma said, feeling confused. "But how?" Miss Thompson, the woman in the uniform, interrupted. "I'm Olivia Bennett, Director of Customer Experience for Horizon Airways. On behalf of our airline, I want to personally apologize for your experience today." Emma looked between the woman and her father, trying to understand what was happening. "Dad, what's going on? How do you know each other?" William took a deep breath. "Emma, there's something I've never told you about my work. I wanted you to have a normal life, to earn things on your own." He pointed to the large Horizon Airways sign above them. "I founded this airline 15 years ago. That's why I travel so much." Emma's mouth fell open in shock. You own the airline? The whole airline?" William nodded. "Yes. But why didn't you tell me?" Emma asked, her mind racing to make sense of this new information. "I didn't want you to grow up feeling different from other kids," William explained. "I wanted you to learn the value of hard work, not just have things handed to you because of who your father is." Emma remembered all the weekend jobs she'd taken, the babysitting, the hours spent studying for scholarships. Her father had always encouraged her to earn her own way, despite their comfortable life. "The agent in London has already been suspended pending investigation," Olivia Bennett explained. "But your father and I both believe this points to a larger problem that needs addressing." Emma nodded slowly, thinking about what had happened. "It's not just about me, is it? If it happened to me, it must happen to others too." "Exactly," William said, a proud smile forming on his face. "And that's why I'd like you to help us fix it." That evening, in her grandmother's cozy kitchen, Emma sat with her father and grandmother Martha. Martha had made her famous shepherd's pie, but Emma was too excited to eat much. "So what happens now?" Emma asked. "That depends," William said. "Olivia suggested a review of our training procedures, but I think we need more than that." "I was hoping you might have some ideas." Emma thought about how she had felt at the gate, small, judged, powerless. She thought about all the people who might have similar experiences every day, with no CEO father to step in and fix things. "I think I do have some ideas," she said slowly. "But I need to learn more first. About how airlines work, about training programs." William smiled. "How about an internship this summer? You wanted work experience anyway." Emma's grandmother reached across the table and squeezed her hand. "Sometimes, love, the worst moments can lead to the best changes." Emma nodded, already thinking about the possibilities. The humiliation at the gate was turning into something unexpected, a chance to make real change. The Endema's summer internship at Horizon Airways began 2 weeks after her trip to Liverpool. On her first day, she felt nervous as she walked into the London headquarters. The tall glass building seemed to touch the sky. "Good morning, Miss Thompson," said the front desk guard with a friendly smile. "Mr. Roberts is waiting for you on the 10th floor." Jack Roberts was the head of training at Horizon. Her father had arranged for Emma to work directly with him on the special project they had discussed. When Emma stepped out of the elevator, Jack was waiting. He was a tall man with kind eyes and gray hair. "Welcome to Horizon, Emma," he said, shaking her hand. "Your father has told me about your experience. I'm sorry that happened to you on our airline." Thank you, Emma said quietly. I hope we can make sure it doesn't happen to others. Jack led Emma through the office to a small meeting room. Inside were 5 other people sitting around a table. Everyone, this is Emma Thompson. Emma, meet the team who will be working with you on the inclusion training program. Emma took a deep breath and sat down. She had prepared for this moment. She opened her notebook and began to share her ideas. I've been thinking about what happened to me, she started. The gate agent didn't see me as someone who belonged in first class. I want to understand why, and how we can change that. For the next month, Emma worked hard with the team. They interviewed flight attendants, gate agents, and other staff. They collected stories from passengers who had faced similar problems. Emma was shocked by how many people had felt judged or unwelcome. One evening, as Emma was leaving the office, she bumped into a woman in the hallway. I'm so sorry, Emma said, picking up the papers that had fallen to the floor. It's all right, the woman said. When Emma handed her the papers, the woman looked at her closely. Wait, you're William Thompson's daughter, aren't you? Emma nodded, used to being recognized by now. I'm Patricia Davis. I was the gate agent in London who denied your first-class seat. Emma felt her heart beat faster. Patricia looked different now, her face was tired, her eyes sad. Oh, was all Emma could say. I'd been suspended, Patricia explained. They're deciding whether to fire me. Emma didn't know what to say. Part of her was still angry about what had happened. Why did you do it? Emma finally asked. Why didn't you believe my ticket was real? Patricia looked down at her hands. I've been asking myself the same question. I've worked the first-class gate for 15 years. I guess I started to think I could tell who belonged there and who didn't. Based on how they look, Emma said. Patricia nodded, looking ashamed. I didn't think I was prejudiced. But when I look back at my decisions, I see a pattern. I'm not proud of it. Emma thought for a moment. Would you be willing to talk to our training team? Share your perspective? It might help us understand how these biases work. The next day, Patricia sat with the team. She spoke honestly about her years at the gate, the assumptions she had made, and the hurt she had caused. Many team members were uncomfortable, but Emma knew this was important. Thank you for your honesty, Emma told Patricia afterward. It can't have been easy. What will happen to me now? Patricia asked. I don't know, Emma said truthfully. That's not my decision. But I do know that real change needs honesty, and you've given us that. That night, Emma called her father. Dad, I met Patricia Davis today. There was silence on the line. Then William asked, how did that go? She helped us understand some things, Emma explained. I think she should be part of our training program, not fired. You want to give her a second chance? William sounded surprised. I want to give the whole company a chance to do better, Emma replied. And that includes Patricia. William was quiet for a moment. You know, Emma, when I started this airline, I had big dreams about connecting people across the world. But maybe the most important connections are the ones between people who see the world differently. Emma smiled. That's exactly what our new training program is all about. As Emma hung up the phone, she felt something she hadn't expected, hope. The painful experience that had started this journey was becoming something positive, something that might help many others. The 3 months into her internship, Emma found herself standing in front of 30 Horizon Airways staff members. This was the first test group for the new training program she had helped create. Her heart beat quickly as she looked at the faces watching her. Good morning, she began. My name is Emma Thompson. I'm not here as the CEO's daughter today. I'm here as a passenger who had an experience that made me feel small and unwelcome. Emma told her story simply and honestly. She described how it felt to be denied her rightful seat, to be judged based on her appearance. As she spoke, she watched the faces in the room. Some people looked uncomfortable. Others nodded with understanding. But this isn't just about me, Emma continued. It's about every passenger who doesn't match someone's idea of what a first-class traveler should look like. It's about hidden biases we all have that we might not even recognize. Patricia Davis, the gate agent who had denied Emma's seat, stepped forward to stand beside her. This had been the most controversial part of Emma's plan, but she had insisted on it. I've been with Horizon Airways for 15 years, Patricia said. Her voice shook a little. I thought I was good at my job. But I made assumptions about who belonged where based on how they looked. I didn't see it as prejudice at the time. I called it experience or instinct. I was wrong. The room was completely silent. No one had expected this kind of honesty. After the session, one of the flight attendants approached Emma. I never thought about it before, he said quietly. But I realize now I've done similar things. I pay more attention to some passengers than others. I make quick judgments. We all do, Emma replied. The important thing is to recognize it and change it. Over the next 2 weeks, Emma and her team ran the training session for 5 more groups. Each time, the discussions grew deeper and more honest. People shared their own stories, both times they had felt judged and times they had judged others unfairly. One evening, Jack Roberts invited Emma to his office. The feedback from the training sessions has been amazing, he told her. People are talking about these issues in a way they never have before. Your father wants to meet with us tomorrow to discuss rolling this out across the entire company. Emma smiled, but then bit her lip. Jack, there's something I've been thinking about. The training is important, but it's not enough. What do you mean? Jack asked. We need to look at everything, our hiring practices, who gets promoted, even the images we use in our advertising. Who do we show in first class in our ads? Who do we show serving the drinks? All of it sends messages about who belongs where. Jack nodded slowly. That's a much bigger project. I know, Emma said. But it's the right thing to do. The next day, Emma and Jack presented their findings to William and the company's leadership team. Emma felt nervous but spoke confidently about what they had learned and what needed to change. The training program is just the beginning, she explained. We need to review all our policies and practices. William looked at his daughter with pride. What you're suggesting will take time and resources. It won't be easy. I know, Emma replied. But isn't Horizon Airways supposed to be about connecting people? Real connection means seeing each person for who they are, not what they look like or how much money they have. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Clara Wilson, the chief operating officer, spoke up. I think Emma's right. This isn't just about avoiding bad publicity or legal problems. It's about being the kind of company we want to be. William smiled. Well then, it seems we have work to do. As the meeting ended, William took Emma aside. I'm proud of you, he said. You could have just been angry about what happened to you. Instead, you're creating real change. Emma thought about the past 3 months, the long hours, the difficult conversations, the moments of doubt. It hadn't been easy. But every time she felt tired, she remembered how it felt to be judged and dismissed. I just want to make sure no one else has to feel the way I did that day, she said simply. As she walked out of the building that evening, Emma looked up at the Horizon Airways logo glowing against the darkening sky. The company slogan read, "Connecting the World." Soon, she hoped, those words would have a deeper meaning. The E&D 6 months after her experience at the London airport, Emma stood in the large meeting hall at Horizon Airways headquarters. The room was packed with staff from every department. Pilots sat next to baggage handlers. Flight attendants chatted with reservation agents. Gate staff mingled with office workers. Today was the official launch of Horizon's new company-wide inclusion program. Emma's summer internship had turned into something much bigger than anyone had expected. William Thompson stepped up to the microphone first. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. 6 months ago, something happened that made me both angry and sad. My daughter Emma was denied a first-class seat on one of our flights because she didn't fit someone's idea of what a first-class passenger should look like. He paused, looking out at the sea of faces. I could have fired the staff member involved and thought that solved the problem. But Emma helped me see that one person wasn't the real issue. The real issue was much deeper. William gestured for Emma to join him. She walked to the front, feeling hundreds of eyes watching her. She wore a simple blue dress and her natural hair was styled in small twists. She looked professional but still like herself. "Hello," Emma said, her voice clear and strong. "My name is Emma Thompson. Many of you know me as William's daughter. But today I'm here as the head of Horizon's new Inclusion in Passenger Dignity program." A wave of applause filled the room. Emma waited for it to quiet down before continuing. "What happened to me that day happens to people every day, not just on airplanes, but everywhere. People make quick judgments based on how others look, talk, or dress. These judgments can hurt deeply and create barriers that shouldn't exist." Emma looked across the room and saw Patricia Davis sitting in the third row. They exchanged a small nod. "Over the past 6 months, our team has created a program that goes beyond just training. We've reviewed and revised hiring practices, promotion policies, and even the images we use in our advertising. We've set up a system for staff and passengers to report problems and suggest improvements." Emma clicked a button, and the screen behind her lit up with Horizon's new slogan, "Everyone belongs in the sky." "This isn't just about avoiding discrimination," Emma continued. "It's about creating a company where every person feels valued and every passenger feels welcome." After the presentation, people lined up to talk to Emma. Many shared their own stories of times they had felt judged or unwelcome. Others admitted to biases they hadn't recognized before. An older flight attendant with tears in her eyes hugged Emma. "30 years I've been flying, and I never thought about some of these things," she said. "Thank you for helping us see better." Later that afternoon, Emma sat with her father in his office. The view of London spread out before them as the winter sun began to set. "So," William said, "how does it feel to have created real change?" Emma thought about it. "Good, but not finished. There's still so much to do." William smiled. "That's how progress works. It's never really done." Emma nodded. "I've been thinking about going to university next year to study business and social policy. I want to learn more about how to create changes like this in other companies too." "I think that's a wonderful idea," William said. "You know, when I started this airline, I thought success meant profits and growth. You've helped me see that true success is about more than that." A knock at the door interrupted them. It was Patricia Davis. "I'm sorry to bother you," she said. "I just wanted to thank you both before I left." "How was your first day as a training coordinator?" Emma asked. Patricia smiled. "Challenging. But good. I never thought my biggest mistake would lead to the most important work of my career." After Patricia left, Emma and her father walked through the office. Staff members greeted them warmly. The walls now displayed new posters showing diverse passengers and crew members, all with the slogan "Everyone belongs in the sky." "You know what I'm most proud of?" William said as they reached the elevator. "What?" Emma asked. "That you didn't just get angry. You turned a painful moment into something that will help countless people you'll never even meet." As they rode the elevator down, Emma thought about that day at the gate 6 months ago. The hurt and humiliation had been real. But now, looking back, she could see that it had been the beginning of something important. The doors opened on the ground floor. As they walked through the lobby, Emma saw a young girl in a wheelchair checking in for a flight, a staff member kneeling to speak to her at eye level. Emma smiled. Sometimes change happened in big announcements and new programs. But the real test was in these small, everyday moments of human dignity. The end.